Hello everyone, it's Maki. The other day, I introduced a mobile suit called the Gouf Crusher. It was created as part of the mobile suit affiliation project from Gundam C DESTNY. It is created by equipping the Zaft Forces Gouf ignited with specialized equipment. This time, I would like to introduce a new form of the Gouf Crusher, the Gouf Crusher Kai. Kai means modified or upgraded. What kind of modifications led to the creation of this mobile suit? Let's analyze it together. If you'd like, please consider supporting my channel by joining the 99-cent monthly membership. As a thank you, you'll receive a name badge and exclusive comment stamps. Now, let's begin the analysis. The Gouf Crusher Kai is a mobile suit piloted by the mercenary Elsa Weiss. She originally piloted the Gouf Crusher. However, it was heavily damaged during a battle with the mercenary organization Serpentail. The repaired version is the Gouf Crusher Kai. Let's take a brief look at its condition before the refurbishment. There are several differences compared to the Gouf Crusher operated by the Zaft Forces. Depending on the situation, the Gouf piloted by Elsa uses different equipment. This follows the same explanation covered in the Gouf Crusher program. In the first half of Volume 1 of the novel, Elsa fights in the Gouf ignited configuration. Then, in the second half of the story, she engages in combat using the Gouf Crusher configuration. Elsie's Gouf lacks detailed background information and appears not to have been officially purchased from the Zaft Forces. It is stated that replacement parts could not be obtained, resulting in various non-standard parts. Consequently, the shape of the head and shoulders differs from the official design. The head antenna is larger, however, this change was not made to improve performance or enhance the design. It occurred simply because proper replacement parts were unavailable. However, Elijah Kill of Serpentail becomes cautious when he observes the head unit. He notices that it differs from the standard Gouf head design and suspects that it may have a hidden function. Elijah's mobile suit has a function that allows the head horn to be used as a weapon. Because of this, he mistakenly assumes that Elsie's Gouf has a similar capability. Of course, as mentioned earlier, Elsie's Gouf head has no such special function. This was simply a minor incident caused by Elijah being an experienced mercenary who never lets his guard down. There is also a scene in which Elsa detaches the hammer from the Slayer weapon her Gouf Crusher and uses it as a ranged weapon. This attack method uses the thrusters mounted on the hammer to strike the opponent. The story clearly states that this combat method was not envisioned during the design phase. While a standard Gouf Crusher can technically perform the same maneuver, it appears to be a tactic that only an exceptionally skilled pilot, like Elsa, can execute effectively. During the battle, Elsie's Gouf Crusher sustains severe damage to its lower body. The rebuilt form of this damaged Gouf Crusher becomes the Gouf Crusher Kai. Facilities owned by a mysterious organization known as the Clan were used for this modification. However, the design of the modification parts remains completely unknown. Were Zaft prototype components obtained through some means? Or did the organization design these parts independently? Since replacement parts were quickly provided after the Gouf Crusher was damaged, one thing is certain: these components were not developed exclusively for Elsa. The evolved Gouf Crusher Kai stands before Elijah once again. Its appearance has changed dramatically. Its damaged legs have been replaced with entirely new components. This demonstrates the characteristic ability of the Gouf series to gain different performance traits through limb replacement. The right leg is equipped with a component that can transform into an impact vise. Additionally, the left leg is fitted with a large lance. Like the impact vise, the lance incorporates a mechanism that generates tremendous destructive power using explosive cartridges. Both legs are also equipped with a roller mobility system featuring 5 wheels each. These rollers enable speeds far faster than normal running. However, they produce an extremely loud noise. Elsa cleverly turns this weakness into an advantage. She uses the noise to conceal the movements of her allies operating under Mirage-colored stealth. Mirage-colored stealth can hide a unit from human sight and sensor detection. However, it cannot make physical objects disappear. Consequently, sounds produced by a mobile suit in motion are still generated, just like those of a normal mobile suit. Elsa uses the Gouf Crusher Kai's roller noise to mask the sounds made by her allies. However, this tactic does not work against the highly experienced Elijah. Although it might have worked against ordinary soldiers, Elijah sees through the strategy instantly. Elsie's Gouf Crusher Kai has an extremely powerful destructive force. Even the standard weapons equipped on the normal Gouf Crusher can easily destroy an ordinary mobile suit. This is clearly evident in the combat data of the Gouf Crusher units that participated in Zaft's Operation Ragnarok. However, the Gouf Crusher Kai's armament is more than double that of the standard Gouf Crusher. It can restrain enemies with the impact vise and destroy them with the lance. This configuration enables the Gouf Crusher Kai to defeat even powerful opponents with ease. However, this equipment has one small weakness. The impact vise is equipped with a system designed to counter phase shift armor. When attacking phase shift armor, it can fire explosive cartridges continuously in full auto mode. This allows it to destroy phase shift armor, even those with extremely high durability. However, the lance does not appear to have this mechanism. In Volume 2 of the novel, the Zaku Phantom piloted by Elijah engages in combat with the Gouf Crusher Kai. Phase shift armor is installed around the cockpit of Elijah's Zaku Phantom. During the battle, the Gouf Crusher Kai's lance directly strikes the Zaku Phantom's cockpit. The cockpit withstands the attack without being destroyed. Elsa immediately follows with a second attack. The Zaku Phantom's cockpit endures the second strike as well. Elijah then begins his counterattack. Unlike the impact vise, the lance lacks a mechanism that enables continuous explosive cartridge attacks. While the impact vise restrains the enemy and applies crushing pressure, the lance has the drawback of requiring the weapon to be put back before another attack can be executed. After enduring the Gouf Crusher Kai's attacks, Elijah's Zaku Phantom launches a counterattack and achieves victory. Elijah defeats Elsa, a highly skilled combat coordinator pilot with extensive training and real battlefield experience. Finally, here is some information about the pilot, Elsa. Under her command, the Gouf Crusher Kai boasts impressive performance capabilities. Elsa is a human who was created as a combat coordinator. She received combat training from the mercenary Dante Gordigiani. Her background is nearly identical to that of Gai Murakumo, the leader of Serpent Tail. Elijah himself has stated that fighting Elsa is almost the same as fighting Gai. Elsa has undergone procedures to enhance her sensory functions. To take full advantage of this ability, she often pilots her mobile suit while completely enclosed. Through the cockpit, she perceives vibrations and sounds from the entire mobile suit body. However, improving operational efficiency by piloting the mobile suit enclosed was not part of Elsie's original design. Nevertheless, Elsie can clearly detect even minor malfunctions and areas requiring adjustment throughout the Gouf's body by piloting in this manner. With Elsa as an extremely precise and accurate sensor, the Gouf Crusher Car is the ultimate cross-combat mobile suit. Thank you very much for watching until the end. I'll see you again in the next program.